Hey, Pastor Tim here, Mars Hill, downtown Seattle. This is Craig Sturm, our new Biblical Families Director of Mars Hill Downtown. It's great to have you, Craig. Welcome to Seattle, man. Are you kidding me?
Awesome.
Unbelievable. Beautiful city. From the very beginning when we started Mars Hill Downtown, one of the big vision pieces is that we would be a church that loves and serves the city and is in the city for a very long time. And part of that is that we would have a heart and passion to raise our families in the city. Over the last 50, 60 years in cities across America, most Christians have fled the cities to go to the suburbs and raise their kids there. And we want to be able to see a movement of Christians coming back into the cities and raising up godly children to love the city and to love Jesus. And so it is just so exciting to be able to have Craig come on with our biblical families, overseeing our marriage, children's, parenting, and a guy that's just got an urban heart. And it's just exciting to have you, man. And married, 5 kids. And tell us a little bit about just how you became a Christian and just some of your background experiences in biblical families.
Well, that's a big question. Well, it was about, I don't know, 1981, when I wasn't seeking God at all. God just broke through, and the mercy of Christ just came crashing into my life. Brought me from a life of pursuing my own goals, pursuing sin, to just desiring to pursue Christ. It was a sweet thing. And early on in my Christian life, maybe within a year, as I started college, there was a real strong sense that God was saying, I want you to serve my cause. Didn't really know what that was at the time, but I want you to pursue people for Christ, help them to grow in the gospel. And so really early on, by the time I finished college, started seminary, and have been in ministry for the last 20 years in various places, largely in children, family kind of stuff.
And you were pretty much in this role at Bethlehem Baptist Church in Minneapolis. Pastor John Piper's the pastor there. Tell us a little bit about that experience. It's a great church out there.
Yeah, that's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of place to serve at, and we just felt very fortunate, my wife and I, to be called there to minister back in 2004. Spent about 4 years on staff at Bethlehem as the pastor for child and youth discipleship, overseeing that ministry and recruiting, training, helping people to love on the kids and point them to Christ and disciple them. And that was just a great time to kind of hone in some of those skills in a large-scale way.
Yeah, get some time with Pastor John and some other great pastors out there.
That's always a side benefit. Yeah.
And part of that, you had a huge heart just for urban ministry there, part of urban initiatives.
Well, our family, when we moved to Minneapolis, we specifically lived right in the heart of the city, right in one of the hardest neighborhoods, South Minneapolis, the Phillips neighborhood. We lived right in the hood and had a big house that we could have people at, and started a baseball league at the park in our city just so we could reach out to the kids and the parents there, and just loved living in the city and connecting with the neighborhood groups and all the different things that we were able to do during our time there.
Yeah,
it was good.
I think that's what I really love about you and your family, is that you just got a heart for the city, for urban ministry, for families, for parents. And tell us a little bit about some of the vision and the heart, passion you have as you come to Mars Hill Downtown for the biblical families there.
I mean, I just want to see families connect with God, be God-centered, Jesus-loving families, and I want to see men grow into spouse-loving men and loving their kids and pointing their kids to Jesus, being the spiritual head of their homes, and then those families growing to be strong and to be lights for the gospel, lighthouses shining out in whatever neighborhood, whatever condo complex they live in, just reaching the people that God puts in their path.
Yeah, one of the things we've talked about in Seattle, we know that it's not extremely children friendly, and we want to be a part of helping the city in that, and we've been given a lot of opportunities to be able to get into the conversation with the city and be able to help become the city more family friendly. And yeah, I think on Sunday we might have the largest gathering of children in the city, and part of that is being able to have a missional heart of how we can be able to love the other children in the city and be able to live a missional life. What do you think that looks like?
Well, you know, I was excited about that as you shared that with me early on in our conversation, just some of the initial thoughts that you guys have had, and even some of the initial ministries God's given Mars Hill Downtown. But, you know, we're already talking about how do we get a voice into the schools? How do we just say, you know, come alongside these guys? How can we help serve you? We're talking about getting the gospel into the neighborhoods even this summer, and you know, just trying to think creatively and missionally. How can we as a church kind of garner up our resources and our love for the kids and get that out into the streets where they're at, whether that's homeless teenagers or just kids in the neighborhood whose parents are not walking with Christ, don't even know them. How can we get the gospel to them?
Well, we plan on being in Seattle, downtown, a very long time, and we just want to love the city, and we believe that over the course of the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, as more and more families are raising their children there, that it will move from a place of transitional housing to ownership, and that we'll see the city change in a great way for Jesus. And excited to have you on board, and
cool.
Excited to see what's going to happen here. So
no, glad to be here.